The most important retirement decision you will ever make. There's a lot of important decisions to make in retirement. A lot of things to think about. You know, how many? 25, 30? But this is the most important decision you will make. You know why? Because so many things are affected by this decision. Before I start, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think before I start this video is the most important retirement decision. Then you'll find out in the end. So how many things, how many separate facets of you does this decision affect? First of all, it'll affect your peace of mind. If you don't have peace of mind in retirement, man, you will be struggling, okay? It took me a little while to find peace of mind in retirement. I'd say probably about a full year until I finally had that, where I could just take a deep breath and just say, man, I got it. I got it. Now, when I say I got it, doesn't mean you got everything, right? But the pros versus the cons, I was feeling pretty good. I had peace of mind, okay? Second thing this will affect, this goes along with number one, is your happiness. Life, in general, you're happy, you're sad, you're angry, you're content. There's all kinds of stuff. But if you can be happy, let's say for the majority of the time, you're doing pretty well, right? So peace of mind and happiness go together with creating a good, healthy, content retirement. You got to have those two things going for you. And this decision affects both of these heavily. Another thing it affects, will you be happy with your environment that you're in retirement? Will you be happy where you're at? This decision will be huge, dare I say huge, in determining that. When I first retired, I was still renting an apartment in Los Angeles. Actually, it was a half of a duplex. I liked it, but I knew it wasn't going to be a long-term thing. And I didn't like my environment at all. Didn't like it at all. I mean, I was happy I retired, believe me, but I just didn't like my environment at all. This decision will totally affect your environment. Hey, for those of you who see me for the first time, my name is Duane, and this is a channel for retiring on moderate income. If you think you might like that, think about subscribing and like the video as well. And if you really like it, down here, you can buy me a coffee. Ooh. So what's another big part of retirement this most important decision will affect? It is the number of friends you're going to have. Now, as we're getting to, what is this, number 4? I think a lot of you might have figured out what the best, the most important decision is, right? But this will totally affect the number of friends that you have. And if there's anything, top 3 you need in retirement is friends, especially if you retire alone, single. You need your friends. Really need friends. Maybe not on a daily basis. In my situation, as most of you know, I go back and forth between LA and my house here in the high desert. I can go 2-3 days without seeing anyone. I'm good. But if it gets past that, I start to get a little antsy, a little fidgety. All I need is a quick conversation and I'm good for the rest of the day. This decision that you make will affect the number of friends you have. What's number 5? This will also affect the comfort that you have in your retirement nest egg. That's a big, dare I say huge again. Can I say huge again?
Yes.
He said I can. The comfort that your retirement nest egg will last you. It'll last you the 30 years or so of your retirement. That's what most plans go by. 30 years, you're planning for 30 years of retirement. The comfort that you have in your savings lasting you that long. Go all the way back to number 1, peace of mind, right? Which out of all 10 of these, I think number 1 might be the most important. Okay, so you guys guessing it? You guessing it already? I think some of you have. Number 6, This decision will totally affect your cultural experiences. And I don't know about you guys, but I love learning about different cultures. Love it. Now, I might not enjoy all of them, but I love learning about them. This decision will totally affect how exposed you are to different cultures, depending on what you like, what you don't like, right? This will be a big, big part of exposing you to different cultures. You can only learn from that. Don't think that in retirement you stop learning. You know, you don't just stop and say, okay, I'm done. What am I going to do? Oh, I don't know. I think I'll just sit here. No, you're still learning. You're still learning. Being exposed to different cultures will totally affect your learning. Keep learning. If you don't want to develop senility, dementia, keep learning. Number 7, this decision will affect, in a big way, your relationships with your family, if that's how you decide to choose on this decision. Did you see that little hummingbird back there? It's another one of my buddies. I've named him Ralph. This will totally affect your family relationships, depending on how you choose this big decision. Number 8, it can also affect your belief system. Yeah, it's that important. It can reflect your whole belief system. Okay? I think a lot of you guys know where this is, what this big decision is. What's the most important decision you'll ever make? I've only got 2 more. Number 9, this will totally affect your expenses. Depending on how you decide on this decision, it can totally affect your expenses in a good way. If you choose wrong, in a bad way. Number 10, and by this time, I'm sure you'll get it. This big decision will affect, which is very, very important to us as we get older, your access to medical services. If you're not close to medical services and you're getting up there in age, I don't care if you've been healthy and you're 75. Seems like once you get past, like, say, I don't know, mid to late 70s, things start happening, right, guys? Things can sometimes, unfortunately, just kind of fall off a wall on you, just out of the blue. It's like, what the heck happened, man? Where'd my arm go? It's hanging, it's laying on the ground. Things happen. Your access to medical facilities is, maybe not when you first retire, but later in retire, it's paramount. So, as most of you guessed by now, the most important decision you will ever make in retirement is where to live. Start thinking about that early on before you retire. What I did here is many of you probably know, is that I lived in Los Angeles for 30 years. I figured out early on I couldn't retire on $500,000 in LA and be happy. So I moved to the high desert, about an hour, little more than an hour east of LA, to a much lower standard of living area. It's been great. It's been great. I have my peace of mind. I have my happiness. Going back through these points, I totally enjoy my surroundings. Look what we got going on today. It's kind of overcast, but it's still beautiful. Look at the clouds. There was a deer walking up here. I don't see him anymore. About 5 minutes before I started filming, and I scared him away, of course. I love my surroundings. I've made friends up here. Some places you're in, you guys know what I'm talking about. You might have standoffish neighbors, right? I did. In one area I lived in LA, I did. Cultural experiences here, okay, I have to admit, I might be lacking in that area, okay? There's not much to do here, but I've still got Los Angeles. So I've got all the culture I need when I go back and forth every week or so. Expenses, way down low, way down low. My approximate monthly expenses are $2,800 a month. So finally, access to medical service. There is a urgent care facility about a little more than a mile away from me. The closest, did I say urgent? I think I said urgent care. The closest emergency medical area is about 10 miles away, 13 miles away. So not too bad, not doing too bad. It's not like I'm in a big city. I get it. It's one of the trade-offs. But the guys, I can't stress to you how important it is to choose well the area you're going to live in. If you're living in a big house now and your kids are gone, and you are in an expensive area and you're on moderate income, really think about downsizing to a college town. I've talked about this many times. You talk about cultural experiences and keeping you young, go to a college town. My first choice was a college town, but then the one I chose, I was thinking about Tucson, would have taken me too far away from my girlfriend. Couldn't do that. So, man, if I wasn't here, I'd be in a college town. Let's put it that way. So choose the place you're going to live very carefully, guys. It can affect all those 10 points I talked about in retirement. And that's why, to me, choosing where to live in retirement is going to be the most important decision you ever make in retirement. And as always, we got this.